final book, the final push that I need to get finished before the end of the year. Hey, pretty girl. Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Mel, and today is going to be the start of a fun and a little bit chaotic video. I'm going to be resetting for the new year. In this reset, we have a lot of fun stuff. I'm going to be walking you guys through my January TBR. I'm going to be doing booktube favorites again this year, and it has a little bit of a twist. So I haven't been able to fully plan out my TBR for it. But because of that, I know that there are at least 7 to 10 books that I already have on my TBR. And so I was a little bit hesitant with that on top of some of my mandatory reads to do TBR Bluff because I was like, I'm not going to finish it. So I decided that rather than not doing TBR Bluff at all, I'm going to do a couple of rolls in this video with you guys, and then we will talk through the rest of my mandatory reads. Then I also need to get the house clean. I always like to start the year with a clean house, but for Christmas, my mom got me a new mirror, and it kind of sparked me wanting to create this reading nook over in the corner of my bedroom. So I think that I'm gonna order a bunch of stuff on Amazon, even though I shouldn't, and start the process of getting that how I want it. I think that's the most fun thing that I'm looking forward to in this video. And then at some point this week, I also have decided that I'm going to be a reading journal girly. I was completely suckered into this after seeing everyone's beautiful spreads. I knew that I had to do it. So I have bought all of this stuff. It is being delivered to my house, and we're going to set up my January spread as well at some point in this video. So we have a lot to do, but first I am getting ready to leave the house. I need to go find some lunch because I'm starving. Quite a bit later. I've had a really busy day today. I've been filming some of my end of the year content, and it was actually really productive. I got a lot of things done, hanging out on sprints and just kind of like backstage sprints, getting some stuff done. But while I was kind of working on a couple of things, which you guys will see very soon, I was listening to The Girl and the Stars by Mark Lawrence. This is the final book, the final push that I need to get finished before the end of the year. I think I already told you guys that this is the Backlist Book Club pick for November and December, so I definitely need to get this finished. It is the companion series to the Book of the Ancestor, which is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence, and I absolutely adored that series. Overall, I think it is a 5-star series for me. Nona is incredible. I loved the school setting, and hopefully you can't hear my cat chowing down in the background, but like she hasn't been eating well, so I don't want to ask her to stop. But I absolutely loved that series. I thought that the magic system was really, really cool, and the world. This one is set in the same world with the same magic system, but it is following the ice tribes rather than the nunnery. So far, I think I'm about 30% into this, and so far I'm liking it, but I won't say that I'm just as hooked as I was with Nona and Red Sister. Yaz is a fine character to follow, but she definitely doesn't have the personality that Nona has, and so I am finding myself to be a little bit bored with the beginning of the story. I do think it's a strong start. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, but in the first like 15 to 20%, it's a lot of info dumping, a lot of kind of reorienting you into the world itself, while also telling you about the ice tribes and how the ice tribes function and what the Pit of the Missing is, how everything works in the Pit of the Missing. And so while it's good, I don't know, I'm just not quite as like gripped with it as I was expecting to be in the first bit of this story. I'm still liking it, I'm still having a good time, but I was expecting to be a little bit more just like 5-star vibes already, but still having a good time. I actually don't think I've told you what this is about. So this one's following Yaz, and I forget which tribe she is a part of, but she lives in one of the ice tribes, and they basically have to hunt and kill in order to survive, and they have something called the Pit of the Missing, which is where they send all of the children that they think are not going to thrive and are going to bring down the tribes. And there is like this rendering every 4 years, I think, and you're not considered to be an adult until you've survived 2 of them. She's a little bit different than the other tribe members. She has abilities that she's never really understood, but when her brother is thrust into the Pit of the Missing, she jumps in after him and tries to save him, only to find that there is a world underneath that she never knew existed. Again, I'm enjoying it. I just was expecting 5-star feels and I'm not quite there yet, but I am still having a good time. And I think a lot of that has to do with Nona versus Yaz, and that's not a bad thing. I wouldn't want another Nona. I don't think that there is a way to have another Nona, but I need to just kind of sit back and enjoy the ride. So I'm going to potentially read a little bit more of this tonight. I'm honestly quite tired. It's actually 11:30 and I have been working all day. So I may just take a little bit of a break, watch some Vampire Diaries, cozy up with my cat, and just enjoy the rest of the evening. But tomorrow I'll check in with you guys. We'll probably do my January TBR. I do want to play a couple of TBR bluff rolls, and then I have a couple of like buddy reads that I need to get on the TBR as well. Maybe we will finish out my bullet journal and do my January spread, because I am going to be a bullet journal girly this year and I'm very excited about it. And like I said, I also need to do a couple of things in my bedroom. Now, whether or not I will get to all of this remains to be seen. I've been cleaning all morning. It is now 4 o'clock and I am so tired, but it needed to be done. I'd let my house get kind of disastrous while I was sick and it was just bugging me to the point where it needed to be cleaned. I did enlist a little bit of help. I had some helpers, so it did go by a little bit faster, and that's why there wasn't any B-roll for you guys, but I did want to show you because I got my little reading nook in my bedroom mostly situated and I wanted to show you what it looks like. So for Christmas, I got a new mirror. I got this really, really pretty mirror for my parents for Christmas. I like it because it's just a little bit more modern than what I had in here before. The mirror that I had was like a big, huge frame down the side. You've seen it, and it was cute and it served its purpose, but it wasn't very modern. So I really, really like the way that this looks. And then now we have a little reading chair with a kitty cat just for your reading nook pleasure. Hi, Bunny. Hey, pretty girl. Hey, Joe. And then this I'm actually going to end up changing. I think it's where her cat food sits right now, and I do want to get something that's a little bit nicer, which will still house her cat food, but is not quite a cheap piece of furniture. Took down something here, so don't look at what the wall looks like. But then I also need to put a picture, I think, right here on this wall. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I'll probably put some kind of like big horizontal picture up there at some point. That is my little reading lounging area in the bedroom that I've gotten situated. This was just kind of a blank space before, so I wanted to put something over there. We'll see if it stays, because technically the dog can get up on this chair and I don't want him in the cat food, so we'll see if he attempts that or not, whether or not it gets to stay. But I really like it. Bryn is quite at home, and that's all that really matters, is that she's happy because she is the queen. So now I'm gonna go work on my reading journal a little bit. I need to finish setting up my January spread, which I will show you guys. I'm not gonna do like anything on my yearly spreads. We're just gonna set up my January because I'll be doing a flip through of my entire 2024 reading journal, and I want to keep that a surprise for you guys. Okay, so pardon the mess. I think I have gotten most of this like kind of penciled out in the way that I want it to, but I do need to kind of color everything in marker and make sure that I've got everything outlined and kind of ready to go. And then we will also be putting down my stickers. I'm going to be watching Cassidy's Best Books of the Year while I do this. It'll be fun to just kind of watch me, and then I will show you what it all looks like when we're finished. this is the finished January spread. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks really, really good. I still need to fill in my book club picks. I can't decide if I'm going to try to put book covers or if I'm just going to write in which ones are for each of these. But we'll have my most favorite book of the month, my least favorite book of the month, the numbers and like the format that I read, video ideas. I also want to track my TBR just so that it's a little easier for me to see like what I've read recently, what was the roles and that kind of thing. So we have the TBR and then just kind of a few little stickers that I found and printed out myself. So yeah, this is my January spread. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think that this is going to be a lot of fun this year. So I promised you guys a TBR, and it is now to chat about the things that I need to read in the month of January. I really don't have just a ton of books that I absolutely have to read in the month of January, and that actually feels kind of nice. I am going to be doing my booktuber favorites of the year with a twist, so I didn't want to pile on extra books, but I did want to do 2 TBR bluff rolls for you guys, and then I also have 2 mandatory reads that I need to read. Plus I wanted to talk to you about 2 other book clubs that I'm hoping to have finished the books for before January, but if not, we'll need to go on my January TBR. So first things first, let's do the rolls. We did get to clear the board last month anyway, but I'm actually not going to be covering anything up for this month since we're only going to be doing a couple of rolls and it's not a full official rolls, but I did want to do a couple and get us a couple of picks. So TBR bluff roll number 1. We got not a lot, but we did get 3 ones, so we're going to keep those out. And what is 3 ones? Because we have nothing covered up on the board. 3 ones is blurbed. I don't know if I am feeling blurbed right now, so we're going to roll again. So that time we got 2 4s. So what is 2 2s and 2 4? Or 2 1s and 2 4s? That is a non-Western setting. That could be fun. I think I'm going to go with that. That's fun. So TBR bluff roll number 1 got us a non-Western setting. All right, and then TBR bluff roll number 2. We got 2 6s, and that was about it. So we're going to keep those 2 6s out. And 2 6s gives us a 5-star prediction. That's fun. Do we just make it easy and go with a 5-star prediction? This is my year of 5 stars. So I think I'm going to go with that. So that was easy. 5-star prediction. So TBR Bluff gave me 2 very fun prompts. We obviously didn't have anything covered up, so it made it a little bit easier. But the first one that it gave me was a non-Western setting. And so for this one, I think I'm going to be going with Race the Sands by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a desert setting standalone fantasy. I really enjoyed Queen of Blood when I read it last year. It was a surprising read for me, and so I'm excited to read more from this author. This was a gift from Monica, and I want to say she might have wanted to buddy read it. Maybe I can talk Monica into buddy reading it. We'll see. But it says, change your life, change your fate. All it takes is a win at the racetrack, riding on the back of a monster. This sounds like it has a competition element, and there are magical companions, magical creatures on here. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. Those are serious buzzwords for me. I am so excited to pick up this book. And then it also gave me a 5-star prediction, and this is the year that I am embracing 5 stars and just allowing myself to enjoy books. And so I was actually pretty excited to see this prompt pop up, even though normally I avoid it like the plague. This book is going to be one that I, full disclosure, will get to mostly if I can and if it shows up on a booktuber's favorites, whereas if it doesn't, then I will probably save this one, put it in my back pocket, and read it in February. I'm hoping to really read a lot of romantasy in February. I think Patreons wanted to do a buddy read for this, so it's kind of up in the air, but I couldn't help but choose it, and that is Blood and Steel. I am dying to read this book. I want to read it so badly. I know that it is a stabby female main character, which you guys know I am all here for. Like, I am all in for a stabby main character. And then it also has, I believe, a shadow daddy in it. There is forbidden love and mentor-mentee, I think. It's following Aletha, who has always wanted to join the Legends or the Knights of Thesmar, and you as a woman aren't able to do that, but she is determined to do it anyway. I'm so excited to read this book. I know that this one and the second one are out, and then there is another book in the middle that's kind of set in this world. It's part of the Monsters series, and then book 3 is publishing in February, and she's almost done drafting book 4, so like I'm expecting to be able to just binge this series. 2 books that I have not yet read that I do need to read in the month of January, if at all possible, is going to be Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. I'm going to be reading this with the Patreons. This isn't a Polycon author, and I know a ton of people were really excited to give this book a try. It seems to be kind of making its rounds again, which is really exciting because I think it's a pretty old story. I don't remember where I was in this. The dogs just started barking. I have David's dogs and they're driving me insane. But I think what I was saying was me and the Patreons are going to be reading this. We are very, very excited. I'm hoping to read this in the second week of January. This is following a woman who is the king's like poison taste tester. Want to say that she was like forced into this role. It was either that or death. So I'm curious to see how this goes. I know that it is a fantasy romance and I want to know more. The last book that I need to read, if I can, I think the Patreons will forgive me if I can't get to this one in January, but I will be getting to it very soon in February if not. And that is Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. I'm doing a Red Rising along and we are up to this book. This stops my rereads and starts my new like experience with the series. I had read up to Morningstar and then reread up to Morningstar, and now I'm excited to dive into Iron Gold. I've heard that the second trilogy is brutal and cutthroat and just absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to find out what all is going on with Darrow after the events that ended the first trilogy. If you don't know what Red Rising is about, it's following Darrow, who is a red, and they're trying to terraform Mars, but little do they know that the Golds are already living up above on Mars, living their best life, and they are basically being treated like slaves down in the slums. And so it's their kind of revolution to get past that. So definitely need to get to this one sooner rather than later. And then two books that were on my TBR for the month of January, things that I needed to read. One of them was The Crowns of Oaths and Curses, which was part of the Indie Archive, the book club that I host with Cassidy over on Patreon. And I've actually already read this one, so look at me go. I am above the game on the January book. I'm so excited for me. This is a enemies to lovers fantasy romance that I enjoyed quite a lot. And then I also need to read The Girl in the Stars by Mark Lawrence. Obviously, that's the book that I'm reading for this vlog. So theoretically, it'll be done when this vlog is over and I will be able to just enjoy being a little bit ahead of the game for a change. Okay, I think that that is all of the books that I needed to put on my January TBR. I'm very, very excited for everything that I have that I know about so far. Obviously, with booktuber favorites, I don't know everything that I'm going to be reading, but they're people's favorites for a reason. So fingers crossed that I find some really, really good books. I did last year, so I'm thrilled to be able to do this series again. Okay, so I guess that's everything. I don't really know how to end this segment because normally I would do like my little outro thing, but this isn't the end of the video. So I think I'm gonna go sit on the couch, hang out with the dogs, get a couple of videos edited, and then hopefully I will feel a little bit more productive for the day because I feel like I'm slacking.
Peloton, I am Hannah Corbin, and this is a 20-minute low-impact live.
So I'm not one for like really New Year's resolutions, but you probably remember, well, I think it was Black Friday. Actually, I know it was Black Friday because I drove all over the country. I bought a Peloton and I've actually really been enjoying it. I was not able to use it for a while when I got sick and I felt like I lost my momentum, but now that I am not sickly anymore, trying to get that momentum back more than anything just because I don't get moving a whole lot and I find that it really helps me sleep better and just generally feel better if I'm moving my body and trying to get in at least a little bit of exercise because I'm what you would call a very lightly active individual. I don't run unless something's chasing me. But I found that I really enjoy spin. I tried to do treadmills, I've tried to do walking programs, I've tried to do weights and like home gyms and whatnot. I don't have a lot of room in my house, like a lot of open space that I could work out. And I also hate walking on a treadmill. I thought I would like it. I thought I could read a book. I thought I could watch some TV. I thought that I could watch YouTube videos and it would be fine. No, I get so bored. So spin actually has really been good for me. I'm enjoying Peloton quite a lot. Shout out to Becca for getting me like in the groove of it, for telling me who her favorite instructors were and who to avoid as like an extra beginner because I would have killed myself before I even started. So thank you, Becca. But now that I have done that, I have dry shampooed my hair, gathered myself back. I'm no longer huffing and puffing. I need to listen to a little bit more of Girl in the Stars, and I actually think I am going to be crocheting a little bit. So I'm working on my genre blanket for this year, and I've gone with a little bit of a different color scheme than last year. It's like it's still like a warm, but with some purples, and I think it's gonna be really pretty. But I have started a different book. I'm not gonna talk about it in this vlog, but I need to go ahead and get the rose done for it because I'm trying to stay ahead or at least up to date, so that I don't do what I did last year and May rolls around and I'm in February and December rolls around and I'm in May, because that's what's happened every year since. So I'm going to listen to Girl in the Stars. I am going to work on my genre blanket a little bit, and hopefully I will have a better reading update for you guys, because I really don't have a lot in the way of a reading update right now. I'm liking it. It got a lot more interesting when I hit about the 30% mark. It's kind of weird. There's a lot of really good world building in this, but I am finding that I don't connect with the characters nearly as much as I was hoping that I would. Not that the characters are bad, I just don't connect to them like I did Nona, but I really like learning about the ice and how the world works on the ice. We get slightly different magic, even though it's still the same magic system as it was in Book of the Ancestor. It's definitely a different side of that. I'm enjoying learning more about the missing and the broken, so I am having a really good time with it. It's just not quite hitting 5-star feels as of right now, but I'm really having a good time. But I really wanted to finish this tonight. Will that happen? Probably not, because I think that I am, yeah, I'm only 58% of the way through this, so I was really hoping it would be done tonight, but that's probably not happening.
I got this boy on my mind that I can't live without. Oh, his eyes are killing me. And he keeps talking about everything that he likes, and I can't stop listening. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time, all the time. And my heart's beating fast when he's looking like that. Oh, his smile is killing me. It's the way that he moves and the way that he laughs, so I can't get enough. Thinking about him all the time. I can get him off my mind. Oh, I want him.
Okay, so I have gotten a couple of rows done on this. I think it's looking really good so far. I'm doing 1 row per book and I'm doing a half double crochet, and I think that it's turning out really well so far. I'm excited to see what it's gonna look like. I have never done a fully half double crochet blanket before, so I'm excited for it. It's gonna be huge, I know that, but I wanted to leave plenty of room for lots and lots of books. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys what it was looking like so far, but I'm gonna go finish this row off camera, read some more of my book, and we'll check in when I have more of a reading update for you guys. Okay, so remember how I told you guys that I was going to be redecorating my room and I was just waiting on everything to come in? I have gotten most of it in, so we're gonna do my reading nook tonight because I have everything but one black piece of furniture, but the thing that's there is very similar to what I'm gonna be putting there anyway, so we're gonna do that tonight. I have some new pictures to hang up. You guys have already seen the mirror. I've got a new lamp and everything. So come with me, let's go see how it's gonna look. Okay, so I have these 4 prints. They're actually a little bit smaller than I was expecting that they would be, so we'll probably spread these out because they're going to be going up on that big wall there, and I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be enough. If it's not, I can always order more of these and just have like 8 prints if I need to, but we're going to put it up there and see what it looks like.
Captured in a photograph. Remember how we used to sit in the vines? Yeah, oh. And I can hear you laugh it off. You always said mistakes I left in the past. But no, I know enough to see the world want us break over sooner than we're gone. And sometimes.
Okay, so this is what it looks like. I think it looks really good so far. I do, like I said, need to get the other black cabinet that's got some shelving that I'm going to put in it. And I think I've actually put some books on the empty shelves of like 2 read books. And then I need to get a cute little pillow to put on this chair as well. So far, I think it's looking really good. The pictures are not quite as big as I wanted them to be, but I still think they look okay. And I could end up getting 4 more to put on like either side, and I think that might look really cute. Maybe like some little fairy lights to go around this, but so far I'm really happy with the way that this looks. I think that it's creating a really nice space that I can just sit and hang out and read. I figured we would film this finishing clip in my new reading nook. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. I feel like it needs a little bit of something, so let me know what your suggestions are for the something down below, because I feel like it just needs a little bit of oomph, especially like right here in this area. Sorry, I just had a Publix order delivered and Ollie's losing his mind. Other than that, I'm really, really happy with the way that this looks, but I wanted to quickly finish out this vlog and give you my final thoughts on The Girl and the Stars by Mark Lawrence. This book definitely picked up for me in the second half. I definitely appreciated Yaz more, liked her character a lot more in the second half. I liked most of our like main cast of characters, the ones that we saw the most, but I did feel like the side characters were just a bunch of names that I never really felt the need to keep up with or figure out who they were and what they were doing. So I do wish that we had either not had maybe such a big cast of named characters, or they had done a little bit more, because they just kind of fell a little flat for me. But I did really like our main cast of characters. I think we're in Red Sister, Nona and her friend group really, really shine for me. In this, the characters tend to fall to the back a little for me, and the world then comes and takes a forefront. This definitely has a lot more magic and just general world lore, I feel like, in it than Red Sister did. Not that Red Sister didn't have it, but I just feel like this delves a little bit deeper into the magic system, and we see magic used a lot more in this book. Or I guess not more, but in a very different way, because Yaz is a Marjol, whereas Nona was more Hunska. They definitely both have bits and pieces of other things in them, but that is kind of the main thing. So I ended up really, really liking the way that the plot went. We were fighting the Tainted, which I thought was a really interesting, and there were like some political maneuvering and things in there. So I did end up really enjoying this. I think it's gonna get a 4-star. It just still didn't quite hit 5-star feels for me, but I did have a good time with it. There were a few little moments where I felt like that happened way too fast, way too easy, or I think for me, because Nona spends so much time at school learning how to use all of these powers, and we are seeing them be taught what they're doing with the path or with the shadows, and the fact that Yaz can do it just so easily when she's not supposed to have any clue what's going on, and she has no idea what her powers are, that she's even Marjol, and I'm like, okay, well, that was a little too easy with no explanation and no instruction. So I do wish we had seen her struggle with that a little bit more, about finding her way and figuring out what was going on, because it just comes to her really, really easily. But all in all, I still love Mark Lawrence's writing style. I still love his world, and I had a great time with this one. So that finishes off my first book of 2024. I think that we have set a good precedence for the year. I am so excited to see what the rest of the year holds. I am now officially reset, ready for 2024. Let me know down in the comments below what you have done to kind of refresh yourself and get yourself ready for the new year. What book did you decide to start the year with? And if you've already finished it, how'd it go? If you just want to let me know that you were here, leave me a star emoji for The Girl and the Stars. As always, links to my Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads are all in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!